All right, we are here live with Monticello Motor Club's first ever Esports Sim Racing Challenge. We're coming to you live from Watkins, Glen International, I guess virtually. I don't know, it's the first time I've ever called a virtual race, but it's round one in Watkins, Glen International. Coming to you out of upstate New York near the Finger Lakes, we've got an exciting evening of racing, two 20-minute feature races. The competitors are out there now just warming up and getting the cars dialed in, getting their rigs dialed in. We've got practice for about 24 more minutes, and we'll be going green at the bottom of the hour. We appreciate you guys joining us, and we hope the racing is going to be exciting. Stay with us as we get ready for the first ever Monticello Motor Club Esports Challenge Race. And we're back at Watkins Glen. Myself in the box, along with my co host for the night, Demetrio Crawford. We are excited to get this going. We've got about 14 minutes of practice time left in this MMC Esports Sim Challenge, race number 1 from Watkins Glen International. Perfect track conditions today, and the competitors are out there wrapping up practice. Like I said, about 13 minutes left to go, 13, 14 minutes left in our practice session, and then we'll begin our 10-minute qualification rounds. It's open practice and open qualifying, so tonight's race is, the qualifying is going to be very exciting. We're looking for a lot of strategy here, a lot of aero, a lot of toe. These MX5s don't have a ton of horsepower, so there is a lot of drafting, a lot of close quarters racing, and it should be exciting once we go green at the bottom of the hour. Oh, yeah, I mean, close quarters racing really doesn't even put it. I mean, you can't get any closer than MX5 Cup cars. And these drivers, they've been practicing all winter. These guys are keeping it sharp with the sim practice, and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. It's really exciting to see these drivers, especially now. We're getting closer and closer to the race, and lots of them are showing us, ooh, little sideways here with Lynn Wilson. Oh, some
Yep.
contact.
Yep.
Lucky enough, it's
Yeah.
practice, so these drivers can make mistakes, reset the car, and get right back on track and right back to business. But yeah, it's going to be super exciting to see these drivers. Only in a few minutes here, actually. Looks like we have about 10 minutes left of practice before we go for qualifying, to see these drivers and what they have in store for the race. Great segue into, why don't we bring one of the drivers into the chat?
I think that would be a great idea.
Let's see. Let's bring maybe Josh Green into the chat, see what he has to say, and pick his brain a little bit before the race. Hey, Josh, you're live.
Okay, I need to do something, unfortunately.
Oh, well, Josh is not ready to be in the chat, so Josh is now...
Josh is working hard.
Josh is working hard.
Hey,
well...
We're close to going green. These guys are getting serious. You see Lynn Wilson there. I think, Demetrius, it's what practice is all about. Lynn turns in a little early for the bus stop, gets a bad angle off the curbing, and before you know, that you've swapped ends with that MX5, right?
Absolutely.
But he's out there, cleaned it up.
Little
still
wide.
Late there through the grass. Oh, man. That is really an optimistic angle, Mr. Wilson, I got to tell you.
For sure. But look, this is the time to push it. This is the time where you can make those mistakes, and it won't affect you too much because it's practice. And a lot of these drivers, I can see they're trying to get the most out of it. They're trying to find the extra seconds here. As we can see on the timing sheet, this is just practice, so this is not telltale sign for the race. Some drivers are practicing for qualifying, some are practicing for the race, some are just looking for that consistency. But it looks like right this second we have Josh Green at the top of the timing chart. So it will be interesting to see where he qualifies. I actually got to talk to Josh yesterday, and he said that, starting at the top spot may not be the spot to start. When you're drafting into that first, into the bus stop, you don't always want to be the car at the front.
That's right. You really don't. I mean, these cars these cars are so much about strategy and aerodynamics and trying to get a toe, trying to get help at the right time on the track, and it's a very interesting game. You got a guy like Josh Green out there who has a ton of experience in the car as well as in the sim. I have high hopes for Josh's results tonight.
Absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see where Josh finishes up today. But let me put it this way. Yesterday when I was watching practice, there's definitely some drivers to look after. I mean, Lynn Wilson was putting in some amazing lap times and putting in some great consistent laps as well. And, keeping up with anyone and everyone, looking down the inside whenever he could. I mean, just absolutely some amazing driving coming from Wilson. I'm excited to see what it has in store tonight.
Well, you look at the top 10 here, man, not even a second. I mean, barely half a second
Hmm.
separating the top 8 drivers on a 2 minute, better than 2 minute lap, right?
Absolutely.
So there's just not a lot of margin of error. There's not a lot of margin of error out there for these guys tonight. So, and
Hmm.
with the 20-minute race format, you can afford to maybe, I mean, if you don't have the best race in the first 20-minute go around, you've got another race to come back and fight again.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I gotta say, when it comes to the lap times as well, it's not all about the lap time because, or in terms of in practice, because you gotta remember the toe is such a big part of the lap. So some of these drivers
Sure.
may not have had a toe yet during this session. So practice may not be a telltale sign for the race. I mean, for sure, it may give us a good idea, but I think that we're going to see lots of surprises during the session, and I'm definitely very excited for that.
For sure, not only between practice and qualifying, but also between qualifying and the race, right?
Oh, for
I
sure.
mean, over a 20-minute race, these
Mm-hmm.
guys are going to get a lot more opportunities to get the setup they're looking for and make it stick. And then
Mm-hmm.
as the 20-minute winds down, I mean, I'm looking for guys like Dylan Murcott, Trent Walco. Those guys are going to be contending at the end.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I got to say, it's really going to come down to staying out of trouble in the first few laps, making sure that when the cars are bumper to bumper to bumper, that you're not too aggressive with it, making sure to keep all the tires on track, but at the same time, making sure that you can make those moves early on. So that's the pack starts to break apart, you're up in a good spot. So it's oh man, I'm filled with excitement right this second.
It's almost like it's the first race of the season, right? I
Truly.
am jacked as well, man.
Oh man. And also one other
I
thing,
am so excited.
one other thing about the session, which is super interesting, is the fact that the conditions are great. Yesterday's practice session, drivers were putting down around a 208 at best, but early on in the session, we were seeing 207s, and I think a majority of the drivers are in a 207. So it'll be interesting to see which drivers are looking to maybe push the tire a little bit more, push the car a little bit more now, given that the session is in really good condition.
Sure, the track temps are way down from yesterday, right? It was super
Hmm.
greasy out there, and guys, the cars were really loose. They were having what power they could put down. They were just having a hard time getting off the corner with any kind of velocity. Versus today, you've got track temps in the high 60s, low 70s.
Hmm.
It's optimal for tires. Oh, we got somebody in the wall back there in
Ooh.
practice. I didn't see who that was, but somebody just went off.
Oh man.
Oh man,
Well, it looks
practice. Hey, it's what it's for.
truly, truly. I mean, I think it's really great. A lot of these drivers are getting that draft practice right now as well. I think it's going to be such a
Sure.
crucial thing. I mean, all the drivers yesterday were talking about how essential it is to get a good draft going into that bus stop. And I got to say, woo, sideways and backwards. Wow,
Oh,
narrowly escaping that right there. That was quite the move. Oh my God.
yeah. Not coming through there quick, man, and clean and looking great. That's great driving out of Matt right there.
Absolutely, for sure. Man, with that awareness, I'll be excited to see during the race. Able to weave in and out of the traffic as as the laps go through. Let's see what else is on track right this second. Let's try to find maybe some more cars that are bunched up. Let's look at the number 5 of. Oh, maybe not the number 5. Who are we looking for right this second? Got a lot of graphs on
That's Manny
screen.
T in 5 car.
Number
Yeah,
5. Doesn't look like. Let's take a look. Number 5. Ooh, doesn't look like they're on. Oh, there we go. Manny. It's the number
yeah.
15 car. Oh. Okay. Well.
Very accomplished MX5 driver
Mm-hmm.
in real life. So, kid has been really great in the Quealy Mazda Classic as well as our regular member racing. Manny had a great season in 2023 in real cars and
Mm-hmm.
IRL, if you will.
Yeah.
And he's also got quite a lot of time here in the sim.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the kid is talented in MX5. I got high hopes for the number 5 car tonight.
For sure, for sure. And also putting in some really consistent laps right this second. So, definitely a force to be reckoning with during the race.
For sure.
Let's see who else we got on track
Excellent.
at the moment. Let's take a look at the pack further up the road. This is Michael Ryan Johnson once again. But let's scoot a little further back to the 30 car of Christopher Johnson.
Hmm.
All right. definitely putting in some consistent lap times as well. Hasn't been in the session for too long, so maybe practicing outside of the session, trying to get warm, and maybe trying to come in with some surprises and some secrets, maybe.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not a terrible strategy to come in late and sandbag a little, right, and not show all your cards. And maybe Mr. Johnson's got something in store for these guys during qualification. He's got a good line off of the main straight there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We'll see what he's got coming up through the uphill S's.
I mean, it's really, really important to try to pick the shortest line in this car. Remember, this car is not very fast. This is not a fast car. In Formula cars, you can afford to go a little wider, trying to get, going around drivers and stuff like that. But in this car, you really got to focus on taking, the shortest path possible. And you're definitely seeing that with Christopher Johnson, understanding that notion. Coming through the bus stop, super clean. Let's see, going down the downhill right-hander. Really great line here, holding it really tight on the inside and opening it up a little bit on the outside there. Perfect. Yeah, definitely some really good lines.
Heading down into the toe. I agree. You're right. I mean, the MX-5 is the king of momentum cars, right? I mean, it's the car everybody wants to start in because it really forces you to make smart decisions behind the wheel and really conserve momentum. There's Michael Ryan Johnson going out of the practice session. We've got about 2.5 minutes left under practice before we get to qualifications.
For sure.
And
let's jump.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. Who else is on the track?
Let's take a look. It looks like, do we have ourselves? Ooh, hold on, wrong driver. We have ourselves a little pack up here, coming through the final corner onto the front straight. Four cars. It looks like, I think this is definitely some great practice for the draft. I mean, personally, if I was on track right now, I would be draft practicing constantly. Who do we have in this queue of cars? Looks like we got Brian.
It's Justin Ehrlich right there in the green and white, running in third of that pack right there.
Absolutely.
And
I think we have Brian there in the second
that's
car.
Michael Gaetano. Yep, and right ahead of him is Ian Bartholomew's out of Team Red Bull. Look at that draft action right there.
Look at that.
Gaetano just right up in the chimney
of
Justin Ehrlich.
Wow.
Headed to the bus stop with authority.
Let's take a look at this. Will they be all? Oh, hold on. All right.
They are full pinned in the bus stop.
They are pinned, baby. One tire on the grass, one tire on the curb. They are picking the shortest line there. Wow, this is some great driving right here. I mean, I hope we get some more driving like this during the race.
That's Trent Walco out front in the blue and white right there. One of our instructors at Monticello.
Oh, sideways.
Look at Gaetano sideways.
Little bit of contact. Oh my, very close.
I cannot believe he's still four. I can't believe he's still four wheels on the pavement right now.
I'm thinking the same thing. That was mighty close.
So Trent Walco just under attack from Ian Bartholomew's right now. That is, I'm telling you, that is a coach and a student right there, door to door.
Oh my God!
It just goes to the heart, Demetri. It goes to the heart of what this whole series is all about, which is building the teamwork and camaraderie between instructors and members.
Absolutely.
And really building the relationships inside the Monticello Motor Club family.
Oh, and it looks
and
like
Trent Walco is around. Justin Ehrlich is around. I love it.
Oh, man.
And Brian Hedian coming through clean as a whistle. Brian Hedian escaping untouched.
Absolutely.
As Walco backs it into the guardrail.
Oh my God. Look, and Brian's car is mighty clean. I mean, honestly, it looks like it's ready for a photo shoot with the rest of the cars in the wall. And it looks like the checkered flag is out for practice. So this will be the end of practice for these drivers as we go into qualifying. And boy, oh boy, am I excited to see what is in store for qualifying. Let's take a look. All right, so it looks as though all of the drivers have loaded into their respective sessions. Let's take a look at Lynn Wilson, currently coming out of pit lane right this second. For the first warm-up lap, let's just get on board with them. All right, perfect. And one thing about this qualifying session is that it is an open qualifying session, meaning that all the drivers can go out whenever and drive together. So it'll be interesting to see, the dynamics that arise from it, because, some drivers may get in the way of other drivers, which, you know, we'll see how some of those drivers feel about that.
Well, it's a strategy unto itself. You can see Ehrlich right there already working the bumper behind Michael Ryan Johnson. Gaetano, these guys heading into the bus stop. These guys, this is a whole separate set of strategies. There's Gaetano going around in front of Lynn Wilson.
Oh,
and
backs
it
it straight into the wall.
area.
All right.
It's not going to be great.
Well, it looks like the car may not be affected by backing it in. I mean, lucky enough, it's just the back of the car. He's still going to reset the car, which is no worries there. He's able to do that very quickly. But let's take a look at the everyone on their opening lap right now. It'll be interesting to see how drivers try to take advantage of the draft. I mean, it's luck of the draw. So the driver could spin in front of you, and that could ruin your lap. So you can get in close behind and try to get that toe, but there's always that risk associated with tucking in.
Right. And right here you see there's Paul Levine there in the green, white, and black car being passed by Trent Walco. But Paul Levine is a driver that has put in a ton of work IRL in these MX-5s all through 2023 and really has come a long way with his driving career. And I think he's turned really good laps in the sim as well. He is an accomplished sim racer as well as a real-life car guy. So I think Paul Levine tucked up right there behind Trent Walco. I think he's going to have something for these guys tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it looks like we have our first driver coming onto the front straight. Michael Ryan Johnson's going to be the first one probably to put in a lap time as he comes across the start-finish to start his first flying lap. Let's take a look. It looks like if we watch on the screen off to the right, looks like we have some drivers still coming out of pit lane. So we'll see if Michael Ryan Johnson comes up on these drivers and how he deals with that.
Yeah. I mean, this kid coming out of Texas, man, the Stuttgart Cowboy, Michael Ryan Johnson, known from New York to Miami, from Miami to Seattle. This kid is all over the country driving any car that burns gas on any piece of pavement, and he is also a really, really great sim racer. This guy's looking for a podium tonight. I think he's going to have a great qualifying lap here.
For sure. Ooh, going wide. So it looks like that will be an off track, and unfortunately, this lap will be invalidated. Luckily, we do have a 10-minute session, so he can come back around, regather his thoughts, and get right back onto his next flying lap. But, I mean, that's not how you want to start the race.
Major, I don't know. I don't want to say that I jinxed him. I don't know if he's listening in or not. I'm not sure. But, I mean, that's a little hot into the bus stop for the Stuttgart Cowboy.
For sure.
Let's see if he can gather it up and put down a flyer.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go a little further back into the field because the pack is really, really, really tight. We're going to hop on board here with Josh Green. Let's take a look at his gearbox. It looks like, is that Trenton Walco behind him? Can't tell. Number of the 91 car. Let's bring up the timing tower right here. Yeah, that's Trenton behind Josh Green. Is Trenton trying to take advantage of Josh's pace?
I got to say, it looks like Trent is definitely trying to get a toe. He's turning. They're getting inside there. Man, look at the big release on Josh. He's using every bit of the pavement, getting his elbows out and giving Trent something to think about if he wants to. I mean, I think Trent's just trying to get a little arrow here, trying to get a run onto the main straight and get all of that toe that's possible.
Absolutely, for sure. I completely agree with that. It looks like he's falling a little behind here. Ooh, Josh going a little wide there. Hopefully he didn't catch an off track there. If so, he's got to put in one more flying lap. We're coming on to the 5-minute mark on qualifying session. Let's take a look. It doesn't look like a single driver has put a lap time in yet as Josh comes across the line. There we go. Here we go. Here are the times coming in. Josh at the top of the timing sheet right now with a 2:08.36. Now, if I remember correctly, I don't think Josh had a toe, so that's a very, very, very fast lap for Josh Green.
It really is, right? He's doing that all by himself out front, punching a hole in the air. Trent Walco taking huge advantage of that, but I mean, man, Justin Ehrlich and Sean McAuliffe also putting in really good numbers, and also Lynn Wilson. I mean, these guys, I just cannot wait for this race.
Absolutely.
So much talent in this field.
Oh, absolutely. There's no question about it. It looks like if we go back, we have 3 cars back to back to back to back. Now, it'll be interesting to see how these cars all navigate going through this lap. Got to be careful. Ooh, really fast. 2 cars going wide.
No. Yeah, that's not gonna
those
work
2
out
laps.
great.
will be invalidated as well, unfortunately. Looks like, who would that be? Is that the number 63 of Paul Levine and the number
That's Paul Levine
20
and
of Michael? Is that Michael?
yeah, I think no, that's not Mike. That's Mike Gaetano. Yeah.
Oh, Mike Katana. Yeah, for sure.
And Paul Levine.
So it looks like those
They're
two
following the
drivers.
flying fin there.
Truly.
The flying fin. Eric Paterno put it in there, and these guys are a little too much hopes and dreams on those on the brake pedal there.
Absolutely. I mean, I saw them going into into the bus stop, and I was like, ooh, they're definitely carrying a lot of speed into there. I don't know if I could carry that much speed into that corner. It looks like so. Yes, so the those 2 laps will be invalidated. It doesn't look like they've put in laps times yet, so they really need to focus on this last lap here, or last 2 laps. It looks like we got 7 minutes or 3 minutes left, so they'll probably have 2 more laps. But they've got to make sure that they focus in, have nice clean laps, so that they can pick up as many places as possible.
Yeah, I tell you, Paterno is also a guy in that blue and white car there. Paterno is a guy that has put in a ton of time in the sim this offseason, and I tell you, he has really high expectations for himself. I think Paterno's going to bring his A game tonight.
Well, we're about to see his lap time. Oh, look at that, right? Slots into 7th place with that quali time. Very good, but doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon. Looks like it's straight to the next quali lap. A little wide there, but I think he kept it on track. Yep, looks like he kept it on track there. So another flying lap for Paterno. I'm excited to see. Maybe he's got some more tricks up his sleeve. I mean, going into the bus stop with that amount of speed, he's definitely got pace.
No doubt, no doubt. He's carrying pace other guys can't match right now. I think Paterno will move up the board here on this lap.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we bring up here our qualifying graph. We can see some of the cars as they go around the track. We can see that right now. Let's take a look. Let's look at Ryan Johnson.
While you're looking at that, Dimitro, while you're looking at that, Trent Walco using that draft off of Josh Green.
Oh, really?
Just put up a 2:07.0.
Wow.
That Trent Walco play.
Wow, okay, yeah.
This is what we were talking about. This is what we were talking about before qualifying, right?
Truly.
Trent Walco gets a toe all the way down the straightaway and then puts up a second better than Josh Green.
That's a fast time. That's a very fast time. I think that must be faster than what we actually saw in practice. I think that's probably the fastest time in the session so far.
Wow. For sure, it is. It totally is. That's a 2:07 dead. That is a good number.
Well, let's take a look
again, illustrating the power of the the draft.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. And I mean, being behind Josh Green, if you could stay on his bumper, you're gonna get that draft, and you're gonna have a real fast time. Let's take a look at Michael Ryan Johnson as he comes across the line. Will he put one better? Yeah, that's his new fast. Look at that, slot into 4th place. That is a quick time, and it doesn't look like he's done yet. Luckily, he did pass the start finish in time, so he will have one more flying lap. So let's see if he's able to take advantage of this draft. And Jack Klepchik also.
Who is that right in front of him?
Right in front of him.
Is that Klepchik right in front of Michael Ryan Johnson?
I think that's the number 18. Let me take a look at my sheet here. Would that be Brian Quealy? I think that's Brian Quealy.
Oh, yeah.
That is. And Brian lets him go by.
I see that.
Okay.
Wow.
Let's see. Well, maybe, I mean, Brian gave him a very, very, very good draft down that back straight. So maybe they may be working together. Maybe they had a little phone call before the session saying, hey, if you see me behind during the qualifying session, please let me by. Because that was very, very nice of Brian.
No doubt. I mean, honestly, I expect to see BQ on the opposite end of that home cooking. But hey, listen, it was definitely a very generous toe by Brian Quealy down the straight.
It looks like they are wasting no time with the quali session. It looks like they, as soon as it hit 10 minutes, they didn't let him run out the clock a little bit. They just stopped qualifying right then and there. Your times were your times, and right now we're headed into the race.
Look at this field.
Oh my God, I am excited. I think looks like we have Trenton and Josh in the front row. That will be some carnage. Let's put it this way. I know that Trenton and Josh got a fun relationship, so they're not afraid to put the elbows out. Let's put it that way.
I tell you, look back there on row number 5 too, man. Both of the Bartholomew's boys side by side.
Oh
The
man.
twin boys going into turn 1. Who knows what's going to happen there? But
Oh man.
there's a lot of talent at the front of this field. You got 3 instructors out front. You got Justin Ehrlich, Michael Ryan Johnson, Sean McAuliffe, Dylan Murcott. All of these guys are very good, very accomplished drivers.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I was talking with some of the drivers yesterday, and Brian mentioned something very interesting, which I think is important to keep in mind as we go into the race. Brian was telling me that, or Brian Hidian, he was telling me that even if you're on the front row, doesn't mean anything. It's really important, to win the race. You want to be in the first 4 rows, which I was like, the first 4 rows. I mean, we're talking 1 to 8. That's a pretty big, pretty large number of cars. But he was telling me that that first draft, once you come out of that first corner, if you're still behind someone, there's a high possibility you're going to be right side by side going to the bus stop. Oh, it looks like
Yeah.
Josh is pulling off to the side. I think the instructors may be letting the members go by, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so it seems as though Justin Ehrlich will actually be starting at the front of this race.
I see. I tell you what, that's not a terrible idea, man. We love the members at Monticello. They're the ones that they're the one that makes the world go around at Monticello. There's nobody more important than our members, and I think that's a great idea.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, as you can see on the top of our screen here, lights are about to go green. So let's watch as these cars all line up. Oh my God, look at all those Miatas. Oh man. All right. Side by side. And looks like the lights, it's gone green. We're green. We're going racing.
Green lights are out, and it is race number 1 of the Monticello Esports Sim Challenge.
Look at that.
Justin Ehrlich leads them down. They're almost 4 wide into turn 1.
Very clean. Lots of passes. Oh, sounds like a little bit of contact. Oh, and in the background, was that Brian Hidian? That was Brian Hidian in the background. Looks like he may or may not have spun, maybe through some contact, and it looks like a pretty bad start to the race for him. Let's go back up to the front of the pack. Justin Ehrlich has put himself comfortably in first place, 2 tenths behind. We have, it looks like, okay, let's bring out the timing tower. Okay, let's.
Oh, McAuliffe in the green machine right there.
Yeah, oh, sideways for Justin Ehrlich, able to keep it together. Coming into the downhill right-hander. Let's take a look a little further back at some of the action behind. Oh, sounds of, here's some contact in the background.
Paterno back there, a little bit wide. Ehrlich, these guys are, I mean, it's the first lap. These guys are really hot right now, and they need to calm down and finish the race first, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We do have 20 minutes in this session, so, as long as these drivers keep it on track for 20 minutes, you have it looks like someone's spinning in the background, and that's Paul Bartholomew. Looks like he is backwards, looking to rejoin the track. Maybe just a little too hot into the uphill right-hander. As some of the back markers come back through. Let's head back to the front. Justin Ehrlich still in first place. A little bit of contact. It seems as though...
Paterno is tagged and around.
Paterno is backwards.
Eric Paterno swapping ends.
Oh, man. Paterno had a really good start there as well. I was definitely keeping... even more contact in the background. Keeping it on track, though. That seems it was Frank McLean, I think, involved in a little bit of contact there. But I must say, Justin Ehrlich has had a dream first lap, keeping it out of trouble as he goes across to start his second lap. Wow, that was a lot of action.
I'll tell you that Sean McAuliffe was our GT4 champion in 2023, and he is right up the chimney of Justin Ehrlich. I tell you, Ehrlich is definitely aware that Sean McAuliffe is right in his mirror.
Oh my goodness.
This is going to be good.
Tell me about it. That bright green car in your mirror, you definitely cannot miss it as they go side by side as we're entering
Yep.
The back straight headed towards the bus stop. I am excited to see what happens going in because they are still side by side. Who backed out there?
Yeah, under braking.
All right, Justin Ehrlich keeping the pace.
Gets it done.
Wow. All right.
And gapped him a little.
Truly, he definitely. If you have to back out there, you're sacrificing a lot of time there. Wow. I mean, I was expecting them to go side by side through that corner, so I started to hold my breath. I'm not gonna lie.
You saw them both go to brakes at almost the same time.
I know.
Wide coming out of that corner.
Truly.
Man.
Let's take a look further
We
back.
lost.
Oh, we lost a few drivers in within that first lap. But let's take a look further back. It looks like Trenton Walco was able to make up a lot of places during that first lap.
Oh, no doubt. And Josh Green as well. So, man, more smoke right there.
Yeah, more smoke in the background there.
It's a lot of action out here.
Truly.
He lost half the field in only 2 laps.
No shortage of action. That's for sure. That is for sure. One thing, looking at my chart here, Lynn Wilson, I must say, up 12 places. You heard that right, 12 places since the start of the race. I mean, that is quite the jump in places. I mean, there must have been a lot of action coming. You had to drive around because that is a lot of action to have to drive around.
Well, that's the kind of thing that can happen in an MX5 Cup race, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you have a lot of attrition, you have a lot of contact, close quarters racing. If you can just keep it clean and finish, I mean, it really can pay off.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, that comes down to that consistency. Lynn was showing lots of consistency yesterday, and that's showing today. Third place, third in running. But, you know, looks like behind Josh Green and Trenton are getting real close. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, will Lynn defend going into the bus stop?
Man, he's got a couple of killers on his back bumper right there. But Lynn, having competed, Lynn was in the 2024 Daytona, the Rolex. You know, we've got the Rolex coming up this weekend. Lynn, as a former driver in the Rolex, he's no stranger to this quarters racing. Now he's in between Josh. Trent gets around him, and as they head down into the boot.
Absolutely. And I think Lynn's just taking a nice, really consistent approach here, not trying to battle too much, you know. Doesn't want the chance of contact and possibly spinning out. And as I say that, maybe I should hold my words a little bit longer. I feel bad. I might be jinxing some of these drivers. And it looks like Bartholomew was able to capitalize on that slight oversteer. Yeah. And
yep, he snuck right through there.
Snuck into 5th place
in
there.
The Red Bull machine.
Mm-hmm.
The Sergio Perez Checo Red Bull machine. Bartholomew's moving up through the field into 5th place.
For sure, for sure. And let's take a look a little further back. It looks like some more instructor battles. Looks like Dylan Murcott and Jack Klepchik real close here. On my Delta a little bit before, they were within thousandths of one another. So was really close before. Let's take a look.
Klepchik has a ton. So Klepchik he's kind of a Miata specialist, right? Murcott is an excellent sim racer, but I think Klepchik probably has more seat time in an actual MX-5. But man, right now Murcott is taking it to him out there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's actually head back to the front of the pack. Man, I gotta say the gap is closing. That gap is certainly closing for Justin Ehrlich. I hope that he's keeping his eyes forward because, I mean, it's hard to keep your eyes forward with that big green car behind.
No doubt, and you can see as they turn through turn 1, headed into the S's now, they both of these guys, Sean McAuliffe and Justin Ehrlich, can see Josh Green and Trent Walco back there.
Absolutely.
So we're going to have some action here and not too long from now.
Absolutely. It looks like Justin's doing a little bit of looking in his rearview mirror. You can see he went down to the inside for a second to try to break the draft real fast coming through the bus stop, but it looks like I think Justin's bread and butter is that bus stop, able to make it through there cleanly and quickly. I mean Sean was able to really break down the gap before, but I mean through that bus stop, maybe it's just the draft and the lack of aero.
Yeah, he seems to. I mean, yeah, Ehrlich seems to gap McAuliffe every time in the bus stop. And you see back in the back there in 3rd and 4th, Trent Walco effectively using the toe again to get around Josh Green in the bus stop as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, and look, they are side by side. Let's just jump back there. They are side by side. It looks like Josh is able to stay ahead there through all of that, but Trenton is not letting up. Very close on his rear bumper. I can only imagine what it looks like in Josh's rearview mirror there. Let's take a look at Josh's gearbox at this moment. Oh, we're on Trenton's camera right there, but yeah, Trenton is real close with the Bucky's livery Miata. Really, really beautiful looking car, I must say. But real close coming to these last two corners.
Yeah, and looking back in the field, man, you've got Jason Rabe and Glen Reen. Brian Hedian moves as getting back up through the field after that first lap mishap. Hedian able to gather it up and work his way back through the field. He's up on right behind Manny Tartaglione now in 8th place.
Absolutely, absolutely. Doesn't look like Trenton was able to make the move there. Probably waiting for the bus stop. Let's head a little further back in the field. I gotta say, there's some real quick lap times as we start going back and looking further back in the field. Drivers that, if they're able to keep up this pace, will be pretty close going into the closing minutes of our race here.
Sure, we're almost to the halfway point.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there's Manny right there. Manny's just kind of lurking around back there in 8th place. Just got around. He is holding off Hedian. It's, there's just so much talent here, man. I still, but, you know, the cars, they just don't have a ton of power. If you have a bad lap, it's so much harder to gain lap position than it is to lose it, right? You can drop back. That's why you were talking about what Lynn Wilson did, man. Making up 12 spots in an MX5 race is nearly unheard of.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And let's hop back on board Lynn Wilson. Oh, and there's a spin. It looks like Lynn Wilson has spun. So, oh my God. Oh, and there's a spin up ahead as well. Who was that? Jason Cohen. Is that Jason Cohen in the wall there? Yeah. Looks like he had a reset due to the damage on his car. Oh, man. Super unfortunate for Lynn Wilson.
We just keep talking about it, and they keep spinning it.
I feel horrible. I feel horrible. Man, let's take a look. Maybe where's Glen Reen at? Looks like a little wide going. Oh no! And the commentators curse again. Oh my God! This is no good. No. This is no good.
We're sorry, Glen Reen. We're sorry.
We're so sorry, Glen. Oh. Man,
all over the track.
Lots of damage to Glen's car, and Glen was, I think, running in 7th place at the time. Oh man, that is super unfortunate. Oh man,
that's going to be the end of his day.
Yes. Let's head a little further back in the pack. Let's try to find maybe a little bit of action. Let's try to find some cars that may be a little close. If we look here at this graph, yeah, right here we've got a close battle with Bartholomew
and Gaetano.
Gaetano,
right?
Yeah, that's correct. Oh no, the commentators curse once again. Little bit of oversteer going over that curb. You know, going into the bus stop is a perfect angle to hit, and if you don't hit it right, the curbs will they're not nice. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, the car is so finely balanced, right? And you're using the right side and the left side on that curbing. If you don't get it right, it just lightens the car up, and it's so twitchy with a short wheelbase, it just wants to swap ends on you.
Absolutely. Actually, if we head back to the front of this race, it looks like the
McAuliffe out front.
Yeah, McAuliffe made the pass, but Ehrlich is, oh my God, so close to contact there. Ehrlich is not letting it stick, staying super close in that rear bumper. I think we might be by the front of this pack. The front of the pack is all within, man, what is that, 3 seconds?
Look at this, side by side through the heel, and you got. So,
oh my goodness!
You know, also, they're working back markers too. You see, they're working.
Yeah, they are.
Quealy back there. So traffic management is going to be a thing here as well. I think Sean McAuliffe got the better end of it there.
Yeah, for sure.
But Ehrlich is really fighting back here.
Yeah, let's take a look. Maybe a quick little replay on the pass. Looks like, yeah, going into the bus stop side by side. And I think this time McAuliffe was like, I'm not. Oh, actually, Justin let him by. Fascinating. Justin let him by. And look at the pace from Justin. Oh my God, almost passing him on the downhill right-hander. But let's hop back into the live stream. Justin Ehrlich able to make the pass. Oh my God. Let's take a look at that pass real quickly. Side by side, coming to the second last corner. Yeah, just down the inside there, in the right place at the right time.
Super clean. Ehrlich's got all the pace in the world here, man. Man, look at this though. McAuliffe's still down inside, and look at Quealy. Brian Quealy, running kind of in a backmarker status here, but Quealy is got pace as well. It just shows you how close these cars are.
Absolutely.
From the top of the field to the bottom.
Absolutely. And
like Brian Quealy really duking it out.
For sure. And Brian, I think, was caught up in some of the carnage earlier in the race, so sometimes there's nothing you can do, right? But Brian's showing that he's got some really, really, really good pace here. I mean, if he was in the top 3, I wouldn't question it. Oh,
no doubt. And you still got.
The big flick. Big flick from Ehrlich, but able to keep it on track. And Josh Green flying down the inside there. Oh my God.
And there's Trent Walco through as well.
Oh yeah. So the front pack all within 1 second. 1 second of one another. That is intense.
6 minutes to go in this race. 6 minutes left. So we've got about, something like the order of 3 laps to go.
Yeah, 3 laps about. And, I think that both Ehrlich and McAuliffe, they're both trying to play a strategic game. I see that they're, sometimes if the car behind's a little too close, they let them go by, but they get that run, put them in a bad position, get that inside move, and then, getting a good exit can maybe in the next corner get you side by side. And I think that's what we saw with Ehrlich going to the first corner, open the door for McAuliffe, but they were side by side going to the bus stop.
Sure. And all that dicing, though, between McAuliffe and Ehrlich have really just left them vulnerable to attack from Green and Walco.
Absolutely.
So Green and Walco are teaming up to run that pack down while Ehrlich and McAuliffe are really paying attention to each other. And now you got a side view full of Josh Green right there going around you, McAuliffe.
Absolutely. Let's actually go back a little bit. Let's go back to the battle. I think it's for 5th. Look at this. They are real close as well.
Yeah, that's Manny and Ian Bartholomew's. Manny, these guys duked it out all season long in the Monticello Member Challenge, and now here they are, nose to tail in this first eSIM race from Watkins Glen.
Yeah, I guess nothing's changed. Oh, looking down the inside into turn 1.
Bartholomew's getting the toe and making it stick.
But hey, I think that there's a possibility that Manny might be looking for the strategic move, knowing, hey, we have this big, long straight coming ahead. Maybe I can grab the toe. And that's exactly what he's doing, and possibly making a move into the bus stop. I'm excited to see. Oh my God, yeah, there will be a move into this bus stop.
No doubt. Manny knows what he's doing. He's racing clean, racing hard, gets that draft, and is now trying to make it stick into the bus stop. And watch this.
Ooh.
Cut across the face there. Bartholomew's hanging on to it.
Bartholomew's not even fully committed to the corner. Manny must have been like, oh my God. That was a big move. Wow. That was, and I guess maybe Bartholomew's is just trying to get in Manny's head, showing that, hey, even if you're there, I'm going to drive my line. So, hold your spot.
Maybe you think the door's open, and then it's not open, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's look a little.
Manny will be back for more, though, on the next lap.
Absolutely. Let's look at the fight for 12th. Who's this? Chris Pedersen. He's got a good gap on the car behind. Let's keep going back. I mean, let's put it this way, though. Paterno is not that far behind, and we saw. Ooh, look at the lap times there as well. Maybe Pedersen had something that happened that last lap, because Paterno's lap is quick, and the delta is showing it. If you look at the delta here in the bottom right-hand corner, Paterno's slowly but surely reeling in at Pedersen.
Yeah, I would expect Paterno. I think Paterno has a lot more experience at sim racing than Peterson, and I would expect Paterno to reel him in before this thing goes checkers.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, look at that, 8/10 gone just on that back straight. And we saw Pedersen with some great pace during qualifying, and he's showing his great pace through the bus stop, because that was a very fast bus stop for Pedersen. Paterno, my apologies.
Paterno.
Yeah, he even maybe with that little bit of downforce loss being so close to Pedersen, was able to keep the front end low. And look at this, within 1/10, side by side going through the uphill right-hander. Let's see what happens here.
Pedersen giving him room, right? Giving him room. Paterno taking the long way around.
Oh,
Pedersen being the beneficiary of that, but watch this run that Paterno's going to get here.
This is a drag race right here. Looks like Paterno was able to get a better exit. Will Pedersen tuck in, or will he look for that move? Yeah, Pedersen's going to have to. Oh, wait, maybe not. I think Pedersen
didn't have a lot of options there.
Absolutely, for sure. Pedersen maybe thought he was a little closer to Paterno, but maybe going to that break zone realized that couldn't make it stick and was on that inside line, so wasn't able to get the best exit out of that right-hander. And it looks like Paterno is able to benefit from that as he's slowly building that gap, but I don't think Pedersen's letting up.
No, and it's just really, really good, clean racing out of both these guys. I'm just really happy to see the quality of competition here. These guys are all really trying hard, racing clean, and this is just good, excellent sim work here for both these guys.
Absolutely, absolutely. And let's head back to the top, check in on what's going on over there. And the battle is still super close. Oh my goodness.
Oh, this is MX5 Cup racing right here.
Truly.
Josh Green out front. Ehrlich right behind him, then Walco and McCall. If you could throw a blanket over these guys.
Oh my
And there's only about time for, this is it right here. There's 30 seconds left in this race.
Oh my God. And it looks like Ehrlich is real close. I think the white flag might be out. I couldn't see in the box, but I think this may be the last lap. So it's put it all on the line. Ehrlich is super close. Oh my God. They are all. This might be 4 wide going into the bus stop. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, Ehrlich cutting off Trenton there, and I think that McAuliffe will be able to benefit from that.
Look at these both these guys figuring it out. Oh, this is gonna be good right here.
Oh, this is real close. Good. Look at that. Ehrlich was able to make the move on Josh Green going into the bus stop. I have no clue how they all made that through cleanly.
I know. I agree. I mean, and the way these guys are pairing up and working, I mean, this is high quality racing. And Ehrlich showing no fear at all, racing against these instructors, man.
Oh,
Ehrlich really bringing his A to race number 1.
Absolutely. And I think that if Ehrlich is able to hit his marks and to keep it on track, and maybe that might be the commentator's curse, knock on wood, but this might be top of the podium, but Josh is not letting up. Oh my goodness. The racing does not stop even when the white flag is out, side by side.
Excellent defense by Ehrlich there, making Josh Green go the long way.
But a little wide. Ehrlich will have the inside here. Maybe if Ehrlich parks on the apex. Oh! Trying to cut across Josh. A little bit of contact there, but they both keep it straight. And going into the second to last corner. Oh, Josh and Trenton side by side. I think Trenton wants these points.
Good, clean racing there into the last corner, headed to the checkered flag now. Ehrlich trying to get down inside, doing everything he can, and he's going to get it done. Race number 1, Justin Ehrlich puts it across the lawn. Trenton Walco, and look at
the contact in the background, but let's keep looking back as we have some real close racing. As we go further back, it looks like the battle between Manny and Bartholomew was real close. I mean, they are within 0.2 of one another. That is great racing from them too.
Yeah, fantastic racing out of both those guys. Manny did everything right, but Bartholomew's just had a little bit better, just a little bit more advantage there at the end.
Absolutely. And here we have Michael Ryan Johnson coming across the line. I think early on in the race, Michael had some issues, but really able to put it back together and landing in a solid 8th. I mean, that is great for points. Great for points.
It is good for points, but I got to tell you, I think Michael Ryan Johnson's probably disappointed with 8th. I think that guy, he's going to look to finish better in race 2, I promise.
Absolutely.
putting up a lot of points in race number 1. I mean, being top 10, it's a long season. We have 5 races, man, and there's a lot of points to be had in each of these race evenings.
Absolutely. As we see some of the other drivers coming through the last few corners, looks like we got Dylan Murcott, Jack Klepchik, Christopher Johnson, all putting in some real great laps, keeping it clean, ending the race well. Let's keep looking back. It looks like is Pedersen and Paterno still racing? Oh, it looks like
they are still racing. Paterno, but I don't see where Peterson.
It looks like
there's Peterson.
Peterson is a little further back.
Peterson under attack from Bartholomew's right now.
This is to the line.
Trying to hang on.
This is to the line right
these
here.
These guys are still.
Oh, wow. That is close, but it looks like Peterson was able to keep it ahead right at the line. That seemed like it was a real close finish there, I must say.
Wow.
All right, and that's the race.
Oh, man. That Peterson and Bartholomew's on that last lap, I believe that was the closest gap of the entire field.
Absolutely. And here are the results of today's race. Oh, there we are. All right, and there you go. The track is cold. That is race 1 of the Monticello Motor Club Esports Sim Challenge. This was a great race, I gotta say.
It really was, man. Lots of, just high quality racing. Justin Ehrlich and Sean McAuliffe battling for the entire 20 minutes, keeping it clean, and ultimately Ehrlich just being able to make it stick wire to wire. What a race out of this Ehrlich kid. Coming up through the teen camps, Ehrlich has trained for this for years through the Monticello driver ladder, and you can see even in the sim world, Ehrlich getting it done.
It looks like we were actually looking at the practice results there. Hold on. I think, is the session live? Let's take a look. It sounds like there's some cars on track. Let's take a look at TV1. Oh, cars are on track right now. Huh. Do we have a second race coming up? Is there a secret race that we're unaware of?
No, there's a second 20-minute race, yeah.
Oh.
But I thought they'd queue them up.
Maybe.
Are they already back to race? Oh!
All right, well.
Paterno and Ehrlich just destroyed it there.
That's one way to warm up for, I guess, race 2. There may be, I guess, a race 2 for tonight.
Yeah, this is warm up for race 2. So we have 2 20-minute races.
Oh, okay. All right.
2 20-minute races. So now they've got a 5-minute gap, a 5-minute warm up. This is a little, we call it some of these drivers are going to take a bio break. Some of them are going to spin out and lose body parts on the track. But, Paterno's just going to door Ehrlich just for fun, it looks like.
Yeah.
So, this is 5 minutes of warm up here. They may not even be behind the wheel. That may just. I don't know.
Yeah, let's take a look a little further back. I guess drivers are on track. So let's take a look. We definitely have some drivers on track. Let's in this warm-up, let's see if we can maybe drag one of the drivers up into chat. Maybe we can have a little chat with them about the first race. Oh my, I think that was Josh Green. Getting a little excited. I must say so.
This might be a great time for. This might be a great time for a commercial.
Oh. It looks like we got some celebrations in the background. This is the 103 of who would that be? Number 103.
That's Paterno doing donuts.
Is that
Paterno won so many tires this year. He won so many free hand cooks that he's just burning them off in the pit lane.
I think he's showing off all the tires that he won. Oh man, this is great. Let's drag Josh on up to the chat and let's chat with second place, I think. Yes, second place. Hey, Josh, are you there? No?
Not second place, but I third place.
Third place. Sorry. Well,
right.
perfect.
Trent Walco just towed him there at the end.
I guess so. We just wanted to check in with you, Josh. You had a great race there, going into first place for a good amount of time, and I guess ending third. Walk us through that race. How was it for you?
It was good. You just try to get through the traffic for the first half, try and keep the nose clean. Had a small bit of contact, which really hurt me on the straights throughout the end of the race, which made it hard to battle with the guys up front. But last couple laps were a really good time, and honestly, I think it's Zach. I don't know if it's Zach or Max because I know it's their dad's name in Sim, but Zach did a really good job to lead to the end, and he defended well on the final lap.
Great stuff. Absolutely great stuff. Yeah,
Thanks.
I mean, we loved watching that front pack. I mean, we couldn't get enough of it. It was close.
Boy, was it.
Yeah.
It was a great time.
It was a great time. Josh, now tell us.
It was really fun.
When you're driving in that pack, what's going through your mind?
The biggest thing is just to make sure you have a run onto every straight, right? In a Miata, it's exit, exit, exit. All about the exits. If you screw it up on the way coming onto a straight, you'll get passed by that whole pack. And it's going to be pack racing no matter what. I wouldn't be surprised if the two guys who are up front, Sean and Zach, are a bit smarter next race and don't battle as early on, so me and Trent don't catch them up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we were talking about that during the race, right? You and Trent were definitely the beneficiaries of McAuliffe and Ehrlich. You know, their dicing really allowed you guys to get back in the fight late in the race.
Absolutely. They were fighting like it was the last lap every single lap, which really slows you down. So it helped us out.
Yeah, great stuff.
We'll see here in just a couple of minutes. In a couple of minutes, we'll be going for race number 2. Josh, good luck in the second race.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, let's see how much time. Doesn't look like we have too much time going into the next race. I'll see if we can drag in one more driver by chance, but it looks like the checkered flag is going out for the warm-up session. Looks like the driver's just getting some good laps in, getting a feel for the car again, and you know, I assume that some of the drivers that got caught up in some of the action are going to look to maybe be a little more reserved on that first lap.
We'll see. I expect better performance out of these. So you got Ehrlich and Trent Walco on the front row, Josh Green and Sean McAuliffe on row 2, Ian and Manny on row 3, and Brian and Michael Ryan Johnson on row 4. Rabe and Murcott, that's going to be a good turn 1 right there.
Yeah, I would make sure.
And then Klepchik and Christopher Johnson.
For sure. I mean, look, I'm definitely going to be looking further down the pack to see how you know, the drivers further back fare. I know Dylan is an aggressive driver, and I know that he'll definitely go for the pass for first, if you will, into turn 1. So we'll love to see what Dylan has in store for us, and I'll love to see, you know, let's see how Justin Ehrlich going back at the top spot here going into turn 1. I mean, now we got Trent and Josh, and McAuliffe definitely wanting to get to the top spot for this race too.
Yeah, all of these guys. I mean, it's race 1. There's points on the line. We're using the Formula 1 system. These guys really need a quality finish. Sean McAuliffe not happy. I mean, Sean McAuliffe had the pace. He had everything he needed in race number 1 and just couldn't quite put it together. Here we go. We're formation lap now. We're coming around, and it's going to be green, green, green before you know it.
Absolutely. It looks like the instructors are going to the back once again. Oh, wow. We are actually about to go green right here in a second. Let's go back to the front of the pack. Looks like Justin's backing them up quite a bit. Not looking to start on the main straight, maybe. Just warming up the tires. Let's put it this way. McAuliffe is ready to go green because look at the two drivers, both warming up their tires. They want to be at the front spot going to turn 1.
Yeah, I mean, you got Manny and Ian right there, the Bartholomew's kids right there, and then Paterno. These members out front and getting ready to take the green now, going through the last turn, headed on to the main straight. It is about time for racing, and race number 2.
It looks like Justin's decided to go green. Now, as you can see right there, session's gone green officially. Oh, this is going to be a great battle in this first lap.
Yeah, Zach Ehrlich tucks it down into turn 1 there with Sean McAuliffe right behind him. And, I mean, Zach Ehrlich.
Big contact in the background.
Yeah, some more contact back at the back of the field.
Ooh, that was, I think Glen Wilson got caught up in that contact once again. Oh, we are going. Oh, this will be side by side going to the bus stop. I can feel it.
Yeah. McAuliffe getting schooled by Zach Ehrlich on the first half of that race number 1. Let's see if McAuliffe's got something for him into the bus stop here, and he does.
A little bit of contact from behind. Manny definitely aggressive.
Manny right up there too.
Yeah, but it looks like he is paying the price there. as we go into the downhill right-hander. Oh, someone's backwards, it seems. Is that Bartholomew's backwards in the background? Yeah, Bartholomew's, and it looks like Glen was also caught up in that contact. Oh, my goodness. Manny showing the outside to Paterno right there.
Yeah, Paterno out in the wall, getting a little help there from Manny Tartaglione, and Paterno in the wall, headed down into the boot.
Ooh, it sounds like some sliding in the background on my stream, but it looks like most drivers are making it through fine. And let's put it this way, McAuliffe and Ehrlich are putting in a show because they are side by side, bumper to bumper. This is going to be a great battle.
Yeah, I mean, Zach Ehrlich just painting the bumper there of Sean McAuliffe.
Truly.
Getting him a little light, but McAuliffe fighting him off, man.
Yeah, truly. Great driving. Let's take a look at the background. Oh, as I say that, it's the number 3 of Paterno again, involved in a second incident. Hopefully able to get that car rolling one more time as we go onto the front straight.
Lap number 1 in the books, and Ehrlich drops 1, and McAuliffe picks up 1, and we are still, those guys are racing. Just like Josh said in the break, these guys are racing like every lap is the white flag.
Absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see if Bartholomew's can capitalize on this, you know. Not too far back. Let's bring up the timing tower right here. If we look in the bottom right-hand corner, Bartholomew's is only a second off, and on this straight, that will decrease substantially very quickly as they go side by side.
No doubt. The Dunkin' Donuts car is going to be in good position here soon if Ehrlich and Sean McAuliffe keep fighting like this.
All right, keeping it clean, but it looks like McAuliffe was a little wide through the bus stop, and can Ehrlich capitalize on that? It's real hard to do this downhill right-hander.
I tell you too, Josh Green is clean through these first laps.
Truly.
Unlike in the race number 1, Green is going to be a problem for all of these front runners before this 20 minutes is up.
Wow, you know, I didn't even see that Josh Green is already in 4th place. That is kind of scary.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and
yeah, I'm telling you.
All right, coming through the uphill right-hander, Bartholomew's has been able to capitalize off of the fighting. You know, we should have maybe dragged Ehrlich and McAuliffe up into the call as Josh was talking, because they are still battling, and the pack is slowly bunching together, as you can see in the background.
And you know, you were talking in race number 1 about Brian Quealy, right? Brian Quealy is a guy who got caught up in some contact early on in race number 1 that really wasn't his fault, but he still had pace, and you can see that here as he's running in the top 10 now.
A little bit of contact.
With good, clean, actually moving up through the field. Brian Quealy moving up into 8th place, looking good early on in race number 2.
And it looks like Michael Gaetano involved in a little incident further back, going back a few places. Oh my God. Let's just watch turn 1 right here, and then after turn 1, let's take a look a little further back, because there's just definitely some big battles happening behind. Oh my God, look at them, bumper to bumper. I'm leaning in on my screen, I'm not gonna lie.
Bartholomew's gets the run. They're trying to break that toe and couldn't quite do it. And look at Bartholomew's get inside of Ehrlich.
Ooh,
man,
definitely
this is good in MX5 racing.
Absolutely, definitely a bit looking to make a big move there, Bartholomew's, I saw. But you know, that inside curb is super bumpy, so probably lost a little bit of momentum, but perfectly fine. You know, no worries there as we're going. Ooh, a little bit of weave in there, a little Euro swerve as we're going onto the back straight, and it looks like Bartholomew's was able to take advantage of maybe a bad run from early.
Telling you, Bartholomew's got the pace, man. Bartholomew's has got the pace here.
That's P1.
And he is into the bus stop in P1.
That's into P1 for Bartholomew's. Wow, what a move! Oh, and it looks like there's a little bit of contact in the background as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, it looks like Bartholomew's was able to get himself a little bit of a gap there, half a second. I mean, if he's able to piece together some good driving through the next few corners, he might be able to stretch out and be on his own. And look at that, Josh Green in the mirrors, all up and behind Ehrlich. I mean, whoo.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you, but Josh Green has got his car just like he wants it here in race number 2.
Truly.
He's damage free and he is quick.
Oh man,
he's going to run through this field.
Truly. going into this right-hander side by side. Will Josh give him the room up? Looks like Ehrlich gave him the spot, but definitely looking more of a tactical move, tucking in and ready to get going. And it looks like behind. Let's take a look at some of the action behind.
Oh, yeah.
Who is that? Is that?
That's
Brian,
Dylan Murcott back
Dylan
there
Murcott,
mixing it up.
Is that Matthew?
Matt Fosnock and Brian Hedian back there.
Absolutely.
That's Hedian holding off Fosnock and Murcott right now.
Oh, man.
Hedian needs... This is going to be a good battle right here.
Yeah.
3 very accomplished IRL drivers as well as sim guys.
Fosnock must be focused right now. Super close to Brian and real, and Dylan is right behind him. You know, definitely watching the mirrors, but also just super attentive. Oh, it looks like there's a little bit of smoke. Who could that be? That is...
Sean McAuliffe.
Is that Sean McAuliffe? Sean McAuliffe is backwards. I mean, starting P2 on the grid and now backwards. There must have maybe been an incident. Can we maybe take a look at what happened there? Oh, wow, look at that. Into turn 1. Contact between the... Who was that? Was that the 180 of Ehrlich?
That was Ehrlich and McAuliffe.
Oh, man.
As we said earlier, those guys have been racing like it's white flag every lap since we started.
Truly.
And one of them, something had to give.
Absolutely. Something had to give. Super unlucky for McAuliffe. Definitely getting the short end of the stick there, unfortunately. But, you know, he's not too far behind, so may be able to reel him in. And, ooh, wow, real quick through there. Maybe able to reel him in and maybe fight back up into the top, maybe top 8, top 7.
Well, so, you know, Ehrlich, and that was also able to kind of give Bartholomew's a little bit of a gap there on second place Josh Green. But Green, he's not quite able to break that toe. I think Green is still in the draft and really get a beneficial line of draft off of Bartholomew's right now. And you see he's inside, looking inside to make the pass into P1.
Absolutely, and it looks like Josh...
Valiant effort out of Bartholomew's.
Yes, absolutely. It looks like Josh is being courteous, though, you know, leaving the space. I know some drivers wouldn't be leaving that space, so hats off to Josh for that. And it looks like Bartholomew's is also being quite courteous as well, giving him that outside line and not trying to squeeze him too much, but looks like Bartholomew's is going to squeeze into second right here, slot at second, and maybe make that move going into the bus stop this next lap. Let's take a look at how much time is left in the session. We are 8 minutes into this feature race. Look at that. Ooh, side by side.
Trenton trying to get a look inside. Trenton getting a look inside, headed down into turn number 1. Bartholomew's will be super courteous, as I'm sure. These guys are pros and friends in real life. And there's Trent inside, and Bartholomew's moves to third. I'll tell you, the group coming behind them, right, that's Hedian and Ehrlich and Murcott. Those guys are going to be in contention soon as well.
Absolutely, for sure. And I think Bartholomew's is definitely playing a really smart game here, not trying to have to do too many crazy moves, not trying to do any crazy dives. And you know, if he needs to let the place go, he'll let the place go. Because he understands that, all right, although maybe not this lap, you know, there's so many more laps in the race. And we obviously, as we saw earlier, with the battle between, can't remember now, was it McAuliffe and Ehrlich, was able to capitalize on some of the battles.
Sure. So, yeah, Bartholomew's going to just try to maintain contact with Trent Walco and just try to stay in touch with that front pack. But I tell you, the action on the track right now is back there in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th as Brian Hedian and Ehrlich and Murcott and Fosnock come up. I think those 4 cars should, hopefully, with Brian Hedian out front, be able to reel in this 3-pack and make it close quarters racing here before the end of race 2.
Absolutely, and it looks like Brian is putting in some really good laps so far. His last lap, as we see, is a 2:07.817, so definitely a super fast lap in comparison to the guys up front. I think a lot of the battles up further up, you know, definitely slowing down the times. And I mean, Brian's 2 seconds up on the pack ahead, and if we look at the cars behind, they're in the 2:07s as well. They are mighty close.
Yeah, Hedian, I'm sure he wasn't happy with his result in race number 1, and he is looking to finish better here in race number 2. He'd like to be on the podium for race 2, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Let's take a look further back.
Closing that gap.
Absolutely. Let's take a look further back in the pack. Maybe we could find a little more action. It looks like the fight for 10th with Paterno leading. looks to be real close. And yeah, definitely a close pack further back here.
Yep, there's Paterno. He's had kind of a tough race. You know, he's had a contact and swapped ends a couple of times, but he's hanging in there. And what is he, in 10th place right now? Something like that?
10th place.
That's not so bad for a guy. Not so bad for a guy who has swapped ends a couple of times. And Lynn right here looking good. Lynn's going to be looking inside of Chris Peterson here very soon.
Absolutely. And Lynn Wilson was able to, I think on the first lap, saw him involved in some contact a little further back. I think he was backwards, but able to make up places. I mean, into the top 12 right now, and definitely showing that, you know, he's fighting for a top 10 position.
No doubt, and right there behind him, a name we haven't mentioned much tonight, but Vinny Sperano is turning in really quality, repeatable, consistent laps. He's been a quality driver all night long, and he's hanging in there and maintaining contact with some of the faster drivers right now as well. I mean, Sperano looking good into the bus stop.
Absolutely. Real close to this pack. I mean, this pack is definitely putting in some good lap times as well, so definitely interesting to see. Let's go head up a little further. Brian Hedian looks to be under pressure from Ehrlich. Yeah.
Imagine that. Zach Ehrlich putting pressure on a guy. Zach Ehrlich has been a force all night long. He is excellent in these MX-5s, and he knows Watkins Glen really well, and he has given Brian Hedian all he wants right now.
Truly, truly, and it'll be interesting to see if Ehrlich is able to make maybe a move going into the bus stop to possibly maybe be the lead car in the pack to help reel back in, you know, Trent, Josh, Bartholomew's to possibly bring this pack even closer.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. Hedian, no stranger to pressure, so I expect Hedian to be able to hang on and really fend off Ehrlich here, even though Ehrlich is really driving hard and driving quality.
Inside.
Looking like inside.
A little unlucky.
But
Ehrlich, wow. Looks like a little further back.
That was okay. That was good, clean racing. Ehrlich did the right thing there. I think a tap of the brake. That's how it let Hedian go. And look at Dylan Murcon.
Dylan Murcon involved a little bit of contact from behind. I think that Fossenau couldn't probably see that Ehrlich was in front and was bump drafting Dylan. Dylan was like, there's a car a little slower ahead, had nowhere to go, and ended up in a little bit of contact. But it looks like Dylan was able to get out of that relatively cleanly, not have too much damage from that.
I tell you, I'm really proud of this kid, Zach Ehrlich, man. He's racing aggressively. He turned in turn one. He really wants to get around Hedian. He made a super aggressive move, and it didn't work. And he kind of did the right thing there. Tiny tap of the brake and let Hedian go rather than getting into contact and causing a lot of damage for both these drivers. That's just a really clean, quality move out of a kid that is clearly aggressive, but not, you know, so red-eye missed that he's going to wreck both these cars to get a position.
Absolutely. And let's take a look a little further up the field. I think Josh and Trenton are having a little bit of fun up here.
Yeah, I mean, these two guys have been up front and fighting to be up front all night long, and Josh, and also Bartholomew's maintaining contact. Just like I said, Bartholomew's just looking to hang on to this pack here and maybe get a benefit of Walco and Green dicing it up. Maybe Bartholomew's is in position at the end if something bad happens.
Absolutely. As we go on to the front straight here, Trenton within 2/10. I think that he may be able to reel that in during the back straight, but I mean, Bartholomew's is super close, and you know, don't want to give the commentators curse, but if something was to happen to Josh or Trent, not to say it's gonna happen, Bartholomew's may have the upper hand there. Looks like Trenton a little slow through the first corner there. Bartholomew's real close right there.
Yeah, only 5 minutes left in this race, so whatever these guys are going to do, it's going to have to happen in about 2 laps or less.
Absolutely.
Hedian has not been able to close up this gap like I thought he might, even with getting the, you know, with Ehrlich and Hedian working together and racing clean. Look at Bartholomew's getting the run up to the bus stop.
Yeah,
Trenton tapping the brakes, letting Bartholomew's through, and that is not the way Josh Green drew that up.
I don't think so. I mean, there's still lots of time in the race. That might be the commentator's curse, honestly. But there's still a lot of time in the race. So, you know, if Josh and Trenton keep crossing their T's and dotting their I's, they will definitely be within, you know, a second of Bartholomew's. But Bartholomew's definitely putting in some really good laps, as you can see on the bottom left-hand corner there. Super, super strong laps. So Bartholomew's, if he keeps driving his race, he'll be fine. I think he might grab the top step.
I think Trenton was setting up to get a little draft pass on Josh Green there, heading up to the bus stop, but he was not paying attention to Bartholomew's, and about the time Trenton went to make the move, the gap was already filled by Bartholomew's, and Trenton had to go to the brake.
Yeah, for sure. As they go side by side, looks like Josh was able to bring it back around there. Yeah, and think that, that's right. Josh Green, Bartholomew's in second, and Trenton in third.
Yeah, they're coming up on a back marker now. Manny Tartaglione not having a great race for himself right now. And Josh Green, they're going to be up in the mirrors of Manny here in just a couple of seconds.
Absolutely.
About no more than 2 laps to go.
Absolutely. Let's take a look a little further back. Ehrlich and Brian still racing bumper to bumper, I gotta say.
Yeah, they sure are. What a great effort out of both of these drivers tonight. Ehrlich has just been on his A game the whole night.
Yeah, Ehrlich is real close to Brian here. Maybe we'll see. I think that Ehrlich is definitely a smart driver. Probably wanting to hold off a little bit longer, maybe to the last lap, to make that big pass, just so, you know, gather as many points as possible. You know, 4th place will definitely give you a nice good cushion. Ooh, a little sideways there. Nice good cushion coming out of the first round.
Yeah, Ehrlich definitely has Brian kind of where he wants him. I'm not sure he'll be able to pull it off, but he's got the setup he wants.
Absolutely, absolutely. And looking a little further back, Dylan Murcott looks to have caught up to Fosnaugh, but Fosnaugh a little wide there.
Yeah,
Dylan able to make the move, but able to tuck back in, not lose too much time there, which is definitely going to keep Fosnaugh nice and close.
I think that's a rare mistake out of Matthew. A little late to the break and had a little understeer, a little push there. Could not hold the defensive line, and Murcott was able to take full advantage of that.
Yeah, and I mean...
But look for Matt...
Yeah, little...
Fosnaugh is going to be in position. I think Matthew's going to be in position here in a second to try to take this spot back from Dylan.
Yeah, for sure. Super, super, super close. It'll be interesting to see them going towards the bus stop. Looks like Fosnaugh had a little bit of understeer there. Obviously, you know, 20 minutes into the race. So tires starting to scrub a little bit, starting to lose its grip, but definitely able to piece it together and hold it close. As we go, I think, into white flag. Yep, white flag. This is the last lap of the race.
Yeah, Josh looking good with 1 lap to go. Josh has got a pretty healthy, for an MX5 race, that's a healthy gap on Bartholomew's.
But look at those lap times. The front pack, even though they're battling, they are not losing pace. I mean, they are definitely gaining pace. They for some reason, they are going even faster, even when they're side by side.
For sure. Yeah, and Trent is right there too. I'm going to be interested to see how these guys finish, because Trent wants to get around the second car.
Side to side to side, able to piece it together. A little cut across the grass. We'll have to see if that's a slowdown for Bartholomew's. But wow, the bump draft.
I cannot believe he hung on to that.
Nor can I. That bump draft led to a little bit of a side to side to side. Lost the rear end, but was able to hold together. Great driving from Bartholomew's.
Absolute top speed coming up to the bus stop. It could not have been a more dangerous time for Bartholomew's, and he hangs on to it. I can't even believe it. And look, Ehrlich trying to show the nose to Brian Hedian on this last lap as well. This is going to be exciting. This is going to go down to the wire.
Oh, absolutely.
2nd versus 3rd, 4th versus 5th. The only guy that's feeling pretty good right now. Yep.
Brian backwards.
I think Hedian just got tagged by Ehrlich. Yeah, he sure did.
Oh, wow. Brian, who had a great race. I mean, up to 5th position. Looks like that was some real big contact there. He'll probably try to lug it to the line, but we're going to keep our eyes on 2nd place as this is coming to the wire. We got 2 more corners to go. Bartholomew's probably looking at his mirror, as you can see the big old Bucky behind him, but not too worries as the Dunkin' Donuts car is going to get 2nd in this race.
Oh man, look at that. Yep. Josh Green across the line in 1st, Bartholomew's in 2nd, the Duncan car, and the Bucky's machine with Trenton Walco behind the wheel comes across the line in 3rd.
Really?
What a race.
Oh, that was a little off-road. Let's keep looking a little further back, see if we can find some action. Lynn Wilson, real close to Paterno, but I don't think he's within touching range. I think that Paterno has secured the top 10 to round it off. Lynn Wilson, great race even after the contact at the beginning of the race, able to piece it together to land himself in P11.
Yeah, that was really good racing there. That was, I tell you, that was very exciting for our first night, man. All of these drivers, congratulations. There's Vinny Sperano. Oh, Sperano a little wide. Trying to chase down Chris Peterson. A little optimistic on his race line there, heading into the final turn on the last lap. But hey, it's a sim car, man. It's okay.
It's all good. And all right, that should do it. I think we got a few more cars that are coming across the line. Paul Levine.
Paul Levine right there running a clean race, and not a bad finish for Paul. That's really good. Jason Cohen, Glenn Reen, Manny T, and Brian Quealy all coming across the line now.
Yeah, Brian Quealy finishing off the lap. Seems as though he's just getting some real clean laps in, as you can see from his lap timer below. Super consistent. It's super close to his fastest lap. Ooh, a little hot into that right-hander there as he's coming to the line. But let's just take a look back at the contact between Brian Heady. Yeah, just got spun from behind there. Just maybe was he just going a little slow? Let's take a look at his gearbox as we can see the number 180 of who is that? Who's the 180? Let's take a look.
That's Justin Ehrlich.
Justin
Ehrlich. That's Zach Ehrlich.
Zach Ehrlich, yeah.
Zach Ehrlich just barely, but I mean, you know, it doesn't take much to turn one of these MX-5s, man. A little bit of contact there, and Hedian, the Brian Hedian racing machine, it was not able to maintain the line and turns it around. That's tough luck for Brian.
Absolutely. All right, and that is the race. Let's take a look at the results from this is the practice session again. Let's try to bring up the actual race. Looks like, well, right there is the your top.
Josh Green on top with Paul and Trent Walco following.
Yeah, and Bartholomew's second. Great effort for Bartholomew's. We saw some really great driving. Let's why don't we drag some of the drivers, the podium drivers, into the chat, and let's have a little chat, see what's going through their mind. Let's grab Trenton first, P3. Hey Trenton, you're live.
Are we live?
We are in fact live.
Hey, Trent Walco.
Wow.
Well,
great drive out there, Trent. You looked really good following Josh Green around. You were great in race number 1 and even better in race number 2. How did you feel about your performance tonight in the Bucky's machine?
Yeah, overall, pretty solid day of racing. Got the pole in qualifying, which was nice, and then working back through the field, there was a lot of excitement, to say the least. I think Josh and I had some of the more eventful races coming up through the pack, but overall a great time. Just want to apologize to Paul Barthelms about that shove on the last lap. Got the angle a little wrong, nearly turned him into Josh, but he made a great save, and from then on I just decided to ride it out and let him take home second place. But overall, lots of fun racing with the members out here.
Yeah, it was. It was a great race, man. I mean, and I'll tell you, early you showed it as well in practice as well as in qualifying. I don't think anybody in the field was working the toe as well as you were. You were able to take that you were able to take that toe from Josh Green and turn it into qualifying gold. And you were also it seemed to be working effectively for you throughout both races.
Yeah, for sure. That's the way of these MX5 Cup race cars. So
It really
gotta
is.
gotta play the game that you're out there for. So yeah, overall lots of fun and looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely. And Trent,
Great job, Trent.
Can we just ask you real quick? I mean, when you're going through the back straight into the bus stop, what's going through your mind when your mirror's filled with all of those cars?
I'm trying not to focus on the mirrors. So aside from just trying to be careful about not turning in on someone who might be next to me, I'm just trying to focus ahead and hang with those guys in front or make progress towards the next guy up there.
Great stuff. Love to hear it.
It was a great drive tonight, Trent, and I'm looking forward to race 2 as well.
All right.
Perfect. Let's right now still trying to get let's see if we can get Paul into the chat, but still got to reach out to Bartholomew's about his second place. But in the meantime, let's see if we can drag in the winner of today's race, Josh Green. Hey Josh, you're live.
Hello.
Oh, there he is. First of all, congratulations. Great driving, I gotta say. I was leaning into my screen. I think I might have to go see an eye doctor after this one because I was glued to the screen. Some absolutely amazing racing at the front of the pack.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I sort of 2 laps to go. I saw that back marker and knew I'd be able to get a toe off